welcome back to the Frontend Coffee Break. This is episode 25, quarter of a century, right? Chucho, why are you laughing?
Well, yeah, quarter of 100. But
Quarter of a 100, correct. Hello, everybody. My name is Ricardo Torres, and with me already here, Chucho Castañeda. How are you? What are you sipping today?
Oh, today I'm still with, although I have been drinking regular coffee the last couple of days, today I'm back on decaf after the first cup. So, decaf.
Decaf, excellent. With us all the way to Berlin, Dragan Filipovic. How are you?
Hi, thanks for inviting me again. I'm Dragan Filipovic, senior engineer from Netcentric. Not so relaxed with my hosts here. More like, what's going on now? What to say next?
But I think it's the first time we invite you to the external Frontend Coffee Break, correct?
Yeah, but for me it's the same whenever I can. So.
But this goes to everywhere, it's YouTube, Spotify, all the places where you can get your podcast. So get ready. You will get fans letters, love letters, hate letters. Don't mention TypeScript and you'll be fine. But yeah, the rest.
Nice.
Okay, then thank you, Dragan. So today, definitely, we brought you here because we want to talk about a little bit the Netcentric or Cognizant Netcentric front-end build, a project that you started many moons ago and that now is fully open source and for everyone to use. If I was to ask you, what is the Cognizant Netcentric front-end build? What would you answer?
Yeah, it's like all-in-one solution for all modern front-end application. In our case, it's focused on AEM, but it doesn't have to be. It's written that any application can use it to build all front-end stuffs and all the tasks related to it. Linters, SAS, JavaScript, even SCG. So it's covering everything that one project can require for front-end part.
I have to say that before joining, just in this direction, before joining Cognizant Netcentric many months ago as well, the personal projects that I work with and the projects that I work with, we weren't using exactly a build, front-end build. We did it more or less manual work. And then when I started working at the company, I saw that there was a different way of doing it. We had a front-end build, and I learned from that. And I have to say that all personal projects that I work with, I have my own mini version of a front-end build that it works very similar to what we have. I really like the way that we work and the way that we do it. So I was surprised and happy to see that the project was open sourced and open to the world, because it's like, okay, that would be something that I would personally, or a lighter version, I would personally use. So it's nice.
Yeah, but Chucho, are you referring to the old days where I remember having like a desktop application to actually minify code? I remember we didn't have anything in our projects. Like in my first job, we just uploaded files to the FTP, right? But unminified, uncompressed, nothing. And then I remember that finding out that there was a desktop app that you could just drag and drop a file and it would minify it for you. But the desktop app, many months ago.
Well, I don't know. I would like to ask Dragan how it was when you started working. How did you work with? Did you have a build?
I mean, at the beginning, of course, there was nothing, just jQuery. But later on, when stuff started popping up everywhere, like first grocery file and then Dover, or how it's pronouncing, I don't know. So pre-NPM and pre-all that. Also, like first step when I started actually building front-end build tools and like
wow.
2000, like 10 years ago. Exactly 10 years ago, I created my first one for the previous company. It was like, everybody was like, oh, wow, what's this? But it actually did just the basic stuff. Instead of writing all JavaScript inside one file, which we did previously, we just split it into multiple. So it didn't do much, just compiling multiple files inside one, without export import, just literally concatenating that. That's like huge thing, because inside one file you are lost. And we're going back there now since Webpack and all the stuff became complex because of we wanted these to use different stuff which were not supported in the browser. Now everything is supported, so we are going back to that first solution where we just need files and maybe somehow to connect them, nothing else. We don't need too much complex manipulation inside the files as we did previously.
So wait a minute. You created this awesome front-end build. And now you're telling me that I don't have to use the front-end build because the browser supports import exports.
Exactly. So that's the way forward.
That's it.
We are too late. But if we go back a little bit, I'm really interested on how this came to be and how you guys, like the process of open sourcing something like complex and make it like, meeting your standards. So I'm guessing like at the beginning, you guys had the front end build for a project and then thought this should be used across the company, or how did it come?
Yeah, it was used inside one project internally. Then since it was so useful, we just put it inside our internal NPM repo. So other projects can use it still internally, still totally private. Since it's a repo and other projects use it, they started committing new updates to it, but it was not so easy and so straightforward. So we decided to open source it, I think, 5 years ago.
Okay.
Really. And so we started documenting what needs to be done, steps, how to open, because it was our first open source plan to open source something. So we had like a lot of wiki pages, a lot of people, a lot of meetings, tasks for everyone to check. And that lasted for several years.
Wow.
And in those several years, things stale, nothing happened after some time. And we never did it in the end. So it waited a couple of more years. Then I started working with Adobe on some of their packages, and I saw how they work. They literally open a repo and say start. That's it. So no previous meetings, hundreds of stuff, how the quality and stuff should be. Just open a repo, start committing in a README file. You have a package doing nothing, but you have it. And then you update exactly how we are working on the project. It's like agile. So you do step by step. If you want something to be perfect, you will wait as we waited for several years and you will never finish it. So that process is long gone. Now we have extra short one similar to Adobe. Just we prepared everything up front, so you don't need to worry about CI/CD and how compilation and publishing to NPM is happening. But we don't need to discuss it that much. It doesn't have to be perfect. That was our main concern previously, and I think that a lot of companies are having the same problem. They want to present something like, hey, we are presenting ourselves publicly, so everything needs to be perfect. There is no way to create something like that. You will never publish. So just go with whatever you have.
It's very interesting what you're saying. I think not just us on the setting, but probably other people, other developers, they think, okay, I'm not good enough. Okay, my code is not meeting my standards or my quality. I cannot open source this. I cannot show this to other developers. They will laugh at me, right? Because my code is not great. But really, I mean, just, as you say, open a repo, create a README, and just collaborate, and it's fine, right? It's fine to do that.
Exactly. And people will help you. You're not alone anymore.
Yeah, this is the greatest part of open sourcing in the sense, right? That, as you say, it's like, this is not good enough. It's like, it's fine, put it out there, and if people find it interesting enough, they're going to help you improve it. They're going to do, I don't know, maybe you don't know how to implement a certain part, I don't know, animations, let's say, in a project. And you can always say, well, animations you can have, and I've seen it, right? They have like the to-do list, or how do you call the work log or the backlog?
Yeah.
That you have like things that you would like to have, like this is the things that are needed to add it. And people might say, hey, I know animations pretty well. Let me take a look. Oh, this is an interesting project. And they can begin to do the animations for you. And the community just gets together and starts working into something much better. Wasn't there some, not so long ago, an issue that one of the reasons that it got solved is because the entire community of open source people got together and solved it quite quickly? I don't remember what it was.
You're talking about the front-end build or something else?
No, something else related to open source. But okay, I'll think about it, and maybe we can talk about that in a future.
I mean, front-end would never be here if we didn't have GitHub and open source projects. Like, how can we share and learn? Like, downloading zip file from somewhere, not going to work. So that's why we are so advanced now comparing to the beginning, like long time ago, because we share everything.
So that would be something interesting. I mean, what would you say the benefit of you say we've advanced quite a bit, but you have experience seeing this advancement happen. What would you say the advantages of doing an internal project that you have, making it open source so that the world can work with it? It's part of the things that you do, part of the work of the tools that you have.
Yeah, so it's not like just people will help you to solve something. That's one part, but it's not the main part. The main part is that when you are sharing your knowledge, you feel great. You are more enthusiastic about it to invest even your time after working hours to fix something there or to implement. You think more about it. So not just the people who started the project, but other people from the company who know about the topic. They want to be involved. And that's something you cannot bring. Hey, I have some internal project. Do you want to take a look and see if you can improve it? Yeah, I will never have time for that. Something is public over there. So yeah, I like it. But it's more about what motivation is quite bigger than just having it internally.
Yeah, no, it's also like, for me, it's also hard playing devil's advocate here. It's hard to justify working maybe on an open source project if it's like maybe non-billable, or how do you justify to your account, to your departments, to your boss? Hey, I have this open source project. Can I contribute? Can I spend my time?
Of course, I mean that's not. I don't see an issue at all, because we are using hundreds and hundreds of plugins. Right? You just install but a lot of stuff. Someone spends time on that. If you're using that in the project for free for the client, and you want to fix something on that project, which is not even in our company, somewhere outside, you should spend the time because it's project related. I mean, everything out there is project related, so it's not like I'm doing it for fun. We are using it. Every project is using hundreds of stuff. So we are behind. We all do those open source projects way more than we are spending currently.
Definitely. I mean, it's a good point, right? You have to give back to the projects or the communities, because otherwise we wouldn't have that, npm I webpack and have this amazing package ready for you to use for free to make your project successful and make you make money, right?
Yep. So we are doing for free, like hundreds and thousands of hours of someone's work for free.
Well, yeah, as you say, if you see it like that, you're doing it for free, but in the end, you're benefiting for hundreds and thousands of hours of other people doing the same thing. I remember that at one point many years ago, when there were a lot of libraries out there and you were trying to implement a feature, you were just looking through different projects, people that had worked on libraries said you had to make sure that it was open source or the license that was something that you could use, and then you would be like, okay, I don't need to worry about creating a calendar. I don't need to be worried about creating this or that. jQuery itself, I don't know if it was open. It was open source, right? Or no?
I learned JavaScript like digging through jQuery source code actually.
So that and jQuery had like this huge impact, and I don't think anybody paid for specifically to use jQuery, and I think it powered the web. Many years ago, it was like the JavaScript source.
Yeah. And not only jQuery, the whole community around it. So there were like thousands and thousands of plugins to how to create that calendar or carousel or whatever. And people worked on that specifically for jQuery. So they were not standalone JavaScript libraries; they were jQuery libraries, and that was actually the beginning of open source. They were all free. Instead of seeing the code, it's not really open source. You need to download some zip file and check it, but it's actually it didn't have GitHub the way we have it now. But the main point is the same. That's how it started.
Yeah. So going back a little bit to our front-end build, I want to promote it more because I think we haven't done justice to sell it. We need to sell it, and we need more views. Just kidding. So back at the beginning, you said very quickly that it's not only for AEM or Adobe's CMS, right? Adobe Experience Manager. How did you guys approach a package that has Webpack, SAS, all these packages to build stuff, to compile, to bundle, but not focus it only on AEM configuration or AEM setup? How do you handle that on a build system? So generic, let's say.
Yeah, because AEM project is nothing special in the front-end world. You have source and you have destination folder when you need to put those source files. It's every project is the same. So it's a general approach. AEM is exactly the same. except that we have one more file with XML, which is called client library, to put all this destination file. And that is the only part inside this frontend build which is AEM related. How to automatically build based on source file, client library, all XMLs, category names, and stuff like that. But it's like 5% of the tool. 95% is standard front-end stuff, FTSS, JavaScript, and other. So the whole compilation happens in any project. So it was not hard to cover anything outside of AEM. But we have source, we define it, and we have target directory. That's it. That's the only thing that you need. You need for single-page application exactly the same stuff. For multi-page application, exactly the same stuff.
So, for example, if I would say I want to do this, use the front-end build, but I don't want to use AEM. How much time do you think I would need to invest in order to adapt it to use in my project?
Zero. No, I mean, we have some defaults. Yeah, really, we have some defaults. Like, for example, source directory is called source inside the root dir where the package JSON is, destination is this. And if you don't want to change that, and source file names have some specific extension, if you don't want to change it, if you just follow those 3 simple rules, then you can put your source files in that directory, add extension which is needed, and that's it. It will work. Then, if you want to change source directory, you need to change source path. It's just configuration where your files are located, where you want to compile them. And then again, if you want to use some 2029 ES or whatever, then you need to add additional plugins to Webpack configuration. So every part of build is configurable. Everything can be extended. ESLint, Webpack, different. Literally, if you write your own build without any external plugin, you need to go to the whole Webpack configuration and other configuration. You need to add other plugins. We move that parts in separate files so it can be easily extended. So if you have something special, you need to extend it. But if you don't have too much special stuff, like most of our projects, they have maybe just one thing to extend. Usually we just change the source and target, and that's it. Everything else is out of the box. So even for our extra big project, we have hundreds and hundreds of components. We still have like 5 lines of configuration for our front-end build.
Nice. Well,
it's truly black magic.
Yes.
Install the package, say build, and
say build.
yeah. Extensibility is the most important part here. Because if you want to cover a lot of different projects, if you want other people to use it, you cannot push your own opinions how things should work. You can do it to work like that out of the box, but you need to provide people to extend every part if they want to use SAS or not, if they want to use inline CSS or not. So whatever they need to decide. Default is one behavior, but they can't extend everything. Default is our opinion how it should work, but it's just default. Everything can be extended, and that's why I think everyone can use it. There is no need. Because now people are focused only on how to build single-page application. If you search some component loader, front-end build tool, and stuff which are related to a regular JavaScript project, which are 95% of the web today, there is nothing. Everything is React, Angular, Vue, single page. It's like a small portion of what we are doing. And with this tool, you can work on WordPress if you like. It covers everything which is standard JavaScript multi-page application. Also, it can cover single-page application because single-page application are simpler than multi-page. But nobody cared about that, and now we covered.
Yeah, I mean the whole SPA debate. We're going back to multi-page or single-page. It's the different. I think a different episode. Islands, okay, in a different concept, definitely. Islands. I have one keyword for you, Dragan. A dreaded word for all developers. It's called documentation.
Yes.
And how did you guys approach documenting this? I mean, from what you said before that you like to dive into the source code of the jQuery and learn. Are you more of let's give some comments inline in the JavaScript, or actually write Markdown files, create a folder, maybe even like deploy that Markdown into a page or HTML somewhere? What's your approach?
depending on the project. Here we have everything in the GitHub repo, so everything is in Markdown files. Even the internal documents which I created actually are just embedding those Markdown files from GitHub. So I didn't throw any page, although we have tens of pages regarding it, which is just embedding something which is already public on GitHub. So that's the way to go if you want to quickly, without thinking, create something which is simpler. On some project, there is like great tool if you have JS docs to convert that to Markdown. That also works fine, but that's extremely technical. So if you want really to document every method and every part, it's more for not for the tool like we have now. It's more for some library which someone need to use and understand the API, what the methods are there. For that purpose, definitely use JS docs and convert them later to Markdown.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice that you're doing that, the documentation part, especially because for me, at the beginning, when I started working also with looking at open source projects and using or trying to work with them, my biggest deter was the lack of documentation. I remember just getting into a project, looking at the documentation, the README file, and it said, "Oh, just drop it here and it works." It's like, yes, basic case, it works. But I want to do this. How do I do this? Can I do that? And you don't see that. And I hate that it's expected for you to dive into the code to actually figure out, which for those who love it, fantastic. But if I'm just more of a casual user, I want to use the library, that will push me back into getting into using it. And if we have a documentation, a well-documented process on how to use it, that I think it's a great asset.
Yeah, thank you.
We try to cover everything.
The README is so important, right? I mean, when you go to a GitHub and you see like a pull README, you just, okay, back, next result. And when you see like a big fat README with FAQ, what is covering, maybe functions or API there, it's like, oh yeah, I can use this. I know how to use it. But if it's poor, I don't know.
Yeah, we try to cover everything. So we have like one intro page, and then we link to other pages, how configuration works and how to extend all the parts. But it's subjective, is it good or not? So someone needs to submit an issue if something is not clear. And for me, it's nice, but I'm not the one who should judge.
Yeah. That is true. It's something somewhat subjective. But now that the fact that you worry about that you're just even worried about having the documentation, that I think it's goes a long way.
Yeah, we need to have it, not just for the public, but for internally, because we are using it a lot. So we need to have documentation.
I was looking into it actually today because we, in the project that I'm in, we were using it and we wanted to extend something. And I started looking through the documentation, and I found it strange that it said that some of the links inside our wiki space were created based on Markdown files. It's like, okay. I wondered why. Now I know why.
Now
I know.
So maybe internally some links can be broken because I didn't want to duplicate the text from the README file and just embedded it.
I mean, the links were everything was navigatable. Maybe not as easy, but it was there, so it's fine.
Yeah, but on the GitHub, that's not a problem. Public, everything is there. Some source is there.
Should be the source of the documentation.
Yeah, I don't know why we put all that in our wiki pages. Just put a link and go there. But okay.
Agreed. So for the more like junior profiles who never or maybe seniors, but they haven't never like open source or created a package, what are more or less high level steps to actually create a repo on GitHub and have it deployed or delivered to NPM repository? How does that work?
Well, first you need to understand Node.js just to how to create a package. If you skip that part, so you know JavaScript part of the functionality of your package, then the next part is publishing all that to NPM. And what is helpful is that GitHub with its own GitHub Actions can automate that. We already prepared our template where you can just extend the template when you are creating the repo, and you can get all the actions for creating and publishing NPM package from that template. I'm not sure if that's public, but that's also something we should open source, so anyone can actually. It's not forking, duplicating the code. It's a templating system in GitHub and creating a repo that you get all the action and everything ready just to put your JavaScript functionality. That's maybe the most confusing part for people who don't know, didn't have experience with NPM. how to publish, how to version and stuff like that, how to publish change stuff. And since that can be covered in CI and inside the GitHub itself, you don't need to worry about it. Even better if you are part of organization like Netcentric organization on GitHub, we already have our own token and system users who is doing that. So you don't need to have a user for NPM at all to publish a package. So everything is covered.
Nice.
Okay,
If you want to do it, you can do it manually, of course, but that's like a lot of more work.
Exactly. For those non-Cognizant Netcentric which don't have access to our template, which maybe we'll have in the future, I would just Google like action to create to publish from GitHub to NPM, and there's probably an action there, official action to do that. You configure it and you're done, right?
Exactly.
Very cool. Very cool. What else, you guys?
Well, I think that one very important is that you've been through the journey of creating something open source. You've gone through that, and as you just shared with us, it took years to go from the initial idea into actually having the front-end build published, and that's quite a journey. And I would like to ask you, what have you learned? What are the takeaways that you have from this entire experience? What things you would say, oh, this is what I learned, and maybe this would inspire other people to actually do it themselves?
Yeah, the main thing is do not overthink it, just do it. So nobody will judge you, you will just get help. I mean, nobody will say, open an issue, hey, what is this? Like, terrible. No, they will help you and they will write something good there. So don't worry about that stuff. Just go for it. Do not overthink it. That's the most part. I think that a lot of companies are holding back. Who knows what they have internally, what tools and what libraries never published, which can enrich our front-end world if they publish it. They should not overthink it, and we are on that step already. We are not overthinking anymore. So the quality and the functionality inside the code itself will improve through time. Don't worry about it.
I love that. We had a couple of episodes ago talking about the imposter syndrome. And I guess this would be one thing that will push you against it, against like saying, I'm not good enough. And I love that you have this philosophy. It's like, just go for it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge world. I mean, we are hard to notice. Everybody is publishing anything. So why waiting? And if you wait, that will be obsolete in a couple of years. Nobody will need it anymore.
So either way, it's fine. Cool. Any like roadmap or any secret plans for the for the front-end build that we could share here with the listeners?
Yeah, front-end build. So we tried during this year. We tried different stuff. How to replace Webpack, for example. We tried ES build, and the outcome is that everybody is like offering minimal configuration. But when you start implementing that in the project, you want to add this, you want to add that, and you have a bunch of other stuff. So we end up on the same thing which we have with Webpack. So we couldn't find any solution which can be simplified comparing to what we have now. And since we know that in the future, all of that is going to be out of the game anyway, so we are not going in that direction. The only direction where we should go is how to cover out-of-the-box browser behavior with import-export and modules and everything. That's a big good part of our build system, because even if you go no build system style, you still need some small part. So you will always need some, and that's our next step: how to create it for Adobe Delivery, for example, to cover that part that you need that you don't have build system in the pipelines, but you need somehow to compile minimally all those browser modules which are supported without compiling ES6. We can reach the Webpack, but we still need some other part of the build system.
Webpack. Can we get rid of that or not yet?
Not yet. I mean,
tomorrow.
Maybe. Depending on the project. For example, on my project, definitely we can do it. Because there is nothing special that Webpack is doing. We don't have anything.
Anything?
You don't have anything that is... No, we don't have anything which Webpack add value. It's just compiling something which can work as a source code if you put class export class file inside the model, inside the bot, it will work without anything. Or even we have a problem because we couldn't update to Webpack 5, so we couldn't even use some modern features which are supported inside the browser. We couldn't use it like last year inside our bit. It's like no way to go. So in my project, which since we are supporting only latest 2 versions of the browsers, everything which we have inside source code can work in the browser without Webpack.
Nice.
Any closing words from you guys?
Well, I must say that I'm very happy to have had you on the episode. It's very interesting stuff, and I hope that the people that are listening push themselves to contribute, not necessarily creating some open package, but contributing to one.
Yeah, just start using it for the personal project, for whatever other reason outside of the company, because and give us feedback. Starting using it is quite easy. It's just a package which will help you instead of spending 10 days preparing a project. Everything will be there for you out of the box, and then give us feedback. How can we improve it, or if something is not working as you expected?
Nice. Or improve it yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Open a pull request, give extra feedback. Excellent. Then thank you so much, Dragan, for joining us today. And for the rest, we will link the front-end build in the description. Just check it out. Try it out with whatever. A spelled view, it will work. Otherwise, just open an issue for Dragan and he will fix it for you in 30 minutes or less. Just kidding. Thank you all. See you in the next front-end coffee break.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.